There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
We're going to blow the bolts. Starbase, stand by. We'll warn our crew to take cover.
Get it done, Rydeck.
Our troll friend is gonna die.
This is Acting Captain Jara Rydeck. Be advised, you have more micro debris incoming. Find cover.
Cover? Neely, get under the access panel. It's armored with duranium.
But what about you?
I'll quick time my way through.
Carter,
Oh.
maybe we could both fit behind this. They've blown the other docking clamp. Hurry!
I don't have time for this. Hold the line!
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Okay. Up, 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 up. Did that do it? Okay.
Look out!
I got you. Petty Officer Enselar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed.
Uh-huh.
It's come to my attention that you are at risk of triggering a
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edselar there to access the interior.
Okay.
Roger that.
We're moving.
Go in there now.
All good. Just a little shooken up. Let's go. We need to leave a good-looking corpse. You did not just shoot that green stuff at me.
I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
Morning!
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this.
Nope.
Get in there.
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
So this is how they get superpowers. Right?
We made it.
They're safe, bringing the SIF fully online.
Shoo! The price of duty. This is awesome so far.
Nilly.
I'm good. Help me with him.
Yeah, honey, how was your first day?
Let's get this off.
Oh.
Medical. Got one wounded at my location. Carter. You don't look so good.
Do we get to meet the doctor?
You gotta be more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet.
State the nature of the medical emergency.
Great.
I think that worked about as well as it could. Got a little shooken up, no one died, followed the captain's orders.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermont?
The Resolute suffered damage from the exploding bolts, but we've successfully moored to the station. The ship is secure. Our systems are coming back online, but we have a fair amount of repairs before we're ready to go.
Put a halt on the roll-off of Starbase engineering staff. We have a schedule to keep. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydeck, with me.
You're right there, Captain? Oh god, he's sitting on the couch.
What a debacle. I was caught with my pants down. Not even on my own ship when the wave hit. I had to go running out of the Starbase commander's office just to... But you followed my order. I appreciate that. Hell, I'm relieved.
You're the captain of this ship. You give orders, and I'll execute them.
That's right. But you see my problem, don't you? They were all against me on that bridge. And they were ready to go against my orders. I'm not blind to it.
But
I think you're wrong about that. You still have the respect of the crew, and we have bigger things to deal with. We have a high-priority mission ahead of us and a lot to do to get ready.
We're going to have a pretty big problem if I can't count on the bridge staff. To say nothing of the rank and file.
we got to keep him from going full Ahab. Alcohol should help.
Oh. Drink?
Sure. Thank you.
I don't want him to turn into a tyrant. More like Captain Blood.
Predecessor,
Or Bly.
Commander Sutherland, is missed. But for all the adoration of the crew, including the senior staff, I just couldn't rely on him. He would question, undermine me in front of the crew. I sometimes think they still hear his voice. That sort of thing is a way of lingering. And you can't argue with a ghost.
Captain, perhaps you and the crew would be better served if you look at this mission as a fresh start.
You can never really leave the past behind.
If we don't, you can never move forward.
Now, this won't be easy. But I'm glad I have you here with me.
Glad to be here, Captain.
And despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and then we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
Just have a drink. Don't finish it. I'm still on duty, technically.
Ready or not, here we go.
I think it was just like, hey, I need you on my side. That's pretty much what it seemed to be. All I ask is a tall ship. What was it? And to sail to steer her by, or something like that?
All departments reporting full mission readiness.
No, she's not a Bajoran. I thought so as well, but
Departments reporting full mission readiness.
they have the ridges on their
This is
nose.
my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Capitan.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
The clamps!
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
Yeah, the Centaur class should have 4 nacelles. Why would you call it a Centaur otherwise? Those look like the most uncomfortable benches ever. Look at that. Just made out of pipes. Yeah, that looks like the science station they were working on the
For the Hotari system.
Genesis.
Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Hi, Captain.
You know what? You take this one.
Can I choose what we say?
Me?
Ooh, I like that. This one's new.
Helm. Make way.
Make way.
It's a sailing term.
I know that.
And it's her own. It was her own. Uh-oh.
Whoa. Careful.
Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
Check your status.
Don't look fine.
Uh-oh.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Too much excitement.
Commander, help me get her inside.
Hope you like that concussion. Hey, you got a Pip-Boy. That'll be great when they need some help with settlement.
That was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on him, but he'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your deridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer.
She's got some Pulaski energy.
To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're...
Rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the Duridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
I know what it means. And I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or expects something else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. The breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. But the more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take. People become blinded by their own ambition.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever. I have to admit, I was concerned when I heard what happened over the bridge. You just followed Solano's orders despite having...
I love her eyebrows.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship, and everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure is almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Great bedside manner, Doc. Thanks.
Understood.
Then, my work here is done.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be lurking outside of sickbay. I didn't want to intrude, so it felt more appropriate to wait out here. We were all worried about you. Or I should say I was. I wasn't sure what was happening at first. But then I realized it was your condition.
I don't want anyone to worry about me. I'm gonna be just fine. This is part of who I am, but I've never let it define me.
I get that now. And I promise I'll try not to let being such a jerk define me either.
Aw.
I trusted my intuition earlier, with the deflector pulse. I felt I should thank you for that.
Well, thank you for coming. Even though you didn't have to.
I wanted to.
Now, Carter, the emissions that gave you that burn are quite unusual, like everything else that goes with this storm. That's a combination of hyronolin and lectrazine to counter the radiation effects. That should help speed your healing. She's come by a couple of times to see you already.
Aw.
Be brief.
It's good to
Hey.
see you awake again.
Like a scar.
I was starting to get worried. Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr. Duval. You did take one hell of a shot, though.
So, be honest. How bad do I look?
You look rugged.
Rugged?
Okay, how about heroic? Millie was looking in on you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now, I had a chance to think about this while I was away. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse, leaving it unsaid.
It's okay, Miranda. You can tell me anything.
I know.
Oh god, we got a love triangle
Come on.
about to happen.
I'm trying. Let me talk. What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Are you sure about this?
They're my feelings. Of course I'm sure.
Well, I just mean, seeing me in here, after we almost got killed out on the hull.
I felt this way before that, Carter. I like you. And I think there could be something more for us.
Commander Shepard, I mean Carter.
What do you say?
Engage! Or not yet. Not
I
yet.
like you too, Miranda. And I'd like to see where this goes.
Good. I was really hoping you'd say that.
Sorry to interrupt, but the patient needs to rest if he wants to get back to his old self.
Of course. I'll see you again soon.
I can't wait to ruin some friendships. Can't wait! Carter, we're detecting a increased blood flow. You may want to lay back down.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Oh god!
Ionic interference surging, Captain. Shield integrity holding.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydeck, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types. I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Uh-oh.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering.
It's from the Excelsior.
I can't get it any clearer. We won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Are we playing as him now?
Diaz,
Oh.
you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Yeah, old school. Which means, no, Sulu wouldn't be in... Well, I don't know. No, he wouldn't. Never mind. This is after Dominion War.
First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
Okay. Can we move it? There's rocks.
We're pulling in debris.
I'm on it.
Use the tractor beam to deflect asteroids. Alright, stick. Stay right there. Alright. Yep, up, 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 up. Can I help you?
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Diaz, the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydeck, plot an intercept course.
On it.
Onward!
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Thank you, my Bajoran friend.
Someone's working hard on the bridge.
Okay. Not that fast. The Grayson.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Now, I think I had this part spoiled for me.
Terra firma, so to speak.
Ambassador Spock.
The guy sounds just like Leonard Nimoy.
Captain, we'll be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
So this is before Nemesis.
Well, let me be the first to say, welcome to the Resolute, Ambassador.
Thank you, Petty Officer...
Carter? Carter Diaz. Sir.
I am pleased to meet you, Petty Officer Carter Diaz. It appears I have you to thank for my safe arrival. Your assistance arrived not a moment too soon, if I may say so.
Well, it wasn't all me. I got some help from upstairs.
A bombastic approach to clearing debris. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical, Petty Officer Diaz. Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
That's not the storm coming back, guys, but it is a raid. Thank you, Kath, for that raid. I appreciate you. Let me go ahead and give you a shout out here real quick.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff.
And we will do Pesky's donation.
A captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Your experience comes from the past, but our present situation calls for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Elydia and Hotari.
Ooh, nice ring system.
Elydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Elydians have shared a mining operation there. The Elydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Elydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
Thank you, Kath, for that sub.
How is it the Hotari were able to turn the tables and take the mines against superior
54
forces,
months.
especially after decades in this arrangement?
Unclear. The answer to that question may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations. But it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Elydian fleet if this escalates to open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed.
Thanks, Kath.
Which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
We can call it profitable or mutually beneficial, but at the end of the day, the Hotari are still being exploited for their own resources.
True peace is not merely the absence of war. And as such, this conflict will surely come again.
Neither the Elydians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Elydians as a source of dilithium.
Oh.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
We could use that as leverage with the Elydians. They'll want the Federation to continue buying from them.
There might be something to that, Commander.
Putting that on the table could make the Hotari more hostile.
Given the Federation's involvement in the Elydium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
We got good stuff with Spock.
This whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Elydian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. But they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, that actually helps us negotiate a peace.
And we'll take advantage of that as long as it works in our favor.
And when it doesn't?
All the more reason to learn as much about it as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught unprepared, should the energy anomaly continue to fluctuate. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Ooh.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydeck.
Commander, As you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, Commander Rydeck could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes.
Got some bugs.
They may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case. It would be unconventional, but I'm not opposed to it.
I'm honored to be included in the negotiation process.
You're not just included, you are instrumental.
Well, I hope Commander Rydeck will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
Yeah, the stakes are fine. What could go wrong? Pretty. Navigational complexities. Hey.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with. I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
The Ambassador asked me to take a look, and I'm ready to crack this thing open.
Good. You can learn from Mr. Diaz's focus.
I'll take notes.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
It seems like he's warming up to us.
Yeah.
Aw.
Even Chovok has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit that I owe you one. You were right to make me go first. I don't know what I was thinking. You did the smart thing.
You've pulled me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for. But first, we have work to do.
A vanishing freckle?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
Okay.
So...
Uh-oh.
I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once.
Uh-huh.
Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms. That just isn't gonna work for me.
You really don't believe in me, huh?
It's not you. Or her. Just running the numbers, and things don't work out more often than they do. I like my friends, and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done yet?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something.
You got the black box?
Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
This program is performed in illegal operation and will be shut down.
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code.
I love that their eyebrows just trip me out.
One of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
It's all the same stuff.
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
Let's see. Your tricorder can record and analyze data. Looking through it will reveal the unseen. Use square to equip or holster your tricorder. Hold R2 to scan glowing objects. You must be close to some objects to scan them. Watch the frame on the screen and see if you're too far away. Interesting. Some objects you will scan will activate a deep scan. During a deep scan, use L1 and R1 to switch between different scan modes and search for glowing objects. The mode indicators on the tricorder will blink if there's an object to find in that mode. When you've scanned all objects, the frame will change color. Hold L2 to analyze the data and finish the scan. In their standby state, warp coils produce a residual electromagnetic field. No deviations detected. Okay, switch through the different modes. Radiation scan. Oh, chemical scan. Okay, there we go. Sinusoidal coil cluster. The center coils guide the warp field through its focal event, maintaining a collimated thrust vector. No fractures detected. The leading coils show evidence of routine maintenance to repair microabrasion from neutrino interactions. Red mode. And nothing else here. Interesting. Okay. Complete scan.
I checked every coil on the port nacelle for imbalances. If any coil in either engine were cracked, I would have detected it. So, it must be the navigation array.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Oh, she's an Ensign Ricky. I'm glad that uniform isn't red.
Hey.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
You're the one with the important job to do. Keeping the captain safe. And Ambassador Spock.
It doesn't always feel that way. Baking in the hot sun, standing guard next to an empty shuttlecraft. But it has its moments.
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always saying?
Oh, God.
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
Cobra Kai.
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole, steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
Alright, they're nice enough.
You don't want to miss your train.
Choo-choo.
I do have to go. Not
Do it.
gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now.
Said don't mess it up.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Save some of that for when I get back.
You've got a deal.
Be seeing you.
Oh, see, she's so gonna die. That was very awkward graphically looking. They're working on it, though.
Etzelar to Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now.
Here's where all the failures happened.
Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Warp pressure is destabilized. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
Whatto?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
So everyone's stuck here. It's kind of like when that whole thing happened where they had to put in a speed limit on Next Generation because it was destabilizing subspace. Well, that's pretty. Man, Spock with that perfect posture. Probably could learn something. Oh. Seat of Power, already giving me Klingon orc vibes.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solana.
Oh god.
Welcome to Hotari. We are honored you have come. My name is Tylos Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
Jara Rydeck, first officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Lydians.
We are honored to be here as representatives of the Federation.
I'm so glad.
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation.
Loktar Ogar.
Authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Ooh. They look like the shaved cats.
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
If you'll excuse me.
Even walk like cats, like super slow.
I think we're about to begin.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here, but that guy was something.
That may be true. But let's keep an open mind going into the negotiations. Hopefully he's just one voice amongst many.
Then let's hope he's the outlier.
The Hotari have invited us as their guests, so we must show them the proper respect.
Can't wait to cause an international incident. Ooh. Pretty throne room. The matriarch. Intergalactic planetary. Yeah, they don't know that though. They don't know we're trapped in space.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Hotari Prime.
The honor is mine, Your Majesty.
That the Federation would send one of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Elydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced. But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
I'm trying to keep an open mind here, but it's not easy. I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh.
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
Oh?
She's not part
She
of...
can speak for herself, can't she? Then let her.
Oh no. Here comes an international incident.
Now then, one should know their place. What you might be somewhere else is not what you are here. Which is standing before a queen. And a queen deserves respect. A bow is not too much to ask. Is Hotari Prime heart of the Hotari system?
My apologies, Your Majesty. I meant no disrespect.
Better. You are Kobliad. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Elidians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Elidians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet!
I like the alien designs.
All the Kobliad suffered. You finally had the chance to right that wrong. To get out from under their control. Would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
There is no remedy for what the Kobliad suffered. And I fear who we might have become in pursuit of it. There is no justice if the oppressed become the oppressor. So I would willingly accept a peaceful resolution if it were offered. That is the real opportunity.
Oh, Spock's like, yeah.
You may be right. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Was it?
No. It was not.
Peace is often elusive to those
Night, Raven.
who need it most. The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to secure a steady supply.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth, not your Federation.
So, I hate to do this, but I think this is a good place to go ahead and end the episode, guys. On a little bit of a cliffhanger. How about that? Yeah, sorry, chat. I think this is actually a really good place, because we got to think about this. Can we end without making a choice? Oh yeah, I can I can go ahead and just exit the game right now, if I can. But yeah, I think this is a good place to go ahead and end it. I am really liking the world they created. And on a little bit of a cliffhanger is good. We'll see exactly how the commander replies in the next stream. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. If you haven't followed the Twitch channel, please do so. I try and stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays with random times in between. And if you're watching the replay of this on YouTube, thank you guys very much for watching. This will be a normal series here on the channel as well. And make sure in the description below, I have a link to the Twitch channel. Give us a follow if you'd like. Like, watch it here in chat. We're having a lot of fun. Love to have you join us. Also, I've got a link to Star Trek Resurgence if you'd like to go ahead and play the game yourself. I'll have the PS5 link because I don't really do Epic games. But that'll go ahead and be on there, and also a link to my Extra Life page where I'm raising money for my local children's hospital via the awesome Extra Life charity. So check out all of those links if you feel so inclined. Like, share, subscribe. You guys know the drill there. And we will see you next time. Later days, everyone.